All right. So, welcome to the 20th episode of the French Toast Night podcast. We are thankful that you joined us for this monumental occasion. We have never yet had a podcast with us hosting and had a 20th episode. So, congratulations, men. Congratulations.
Wow. Yeah, congratulations to you.
Well, thanks. I was hoping you'd notice.
For hosting our 20th. This is the first time you've ever hosted a 20th podcast, so this is special.
It is. And the significance is not lost on me.
No.
It really isn't. So I'm Kevin Moses, and I'm joined tonight by Paul Witt and Nate Offord. Hi, guys.
Hey, Kev.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey. Now, we obviously missed Rob and Aaron, and we trust they'll be with us for our 120th episode when we get there.
You better start texting Rob now.
We will all be dead by the time we get through 100 more of these at the rate we've done 20.
Yeah, I think last time we talked, we were still in the midst of summer.
Yeah.
But it is officially fall, and I have a quick opening question for you guys. So, at least in this part of the country, fall cuisine is dominated by two different foods: one a fruit, one a vegetable, the apple and the pumpkin. And I imagine it's that way in the South as well. Is that true? Apple and pumpkin stuff is in?
That's fair.
Okay. And boiled peanuts.
Yes.
Yeah. So my question for you men is, which is better? And I don't mean better by itself, but which provides a better array of dishes, of food options? So you got, the pumpkin bread, the pumpkin spice stuff. You got the pumpkin rolls, the pumpkin pie. Obviously, apple, you got all the other stuff that goes with apple cider, apple pie, apple crumble, and et cetera. So which of the two is better in your opinion? If you had to go without one, which would you prefer? Nate, do you have an answer?
The thing is, I feel like I do apple stuff all year long. So apple does not feel particularly seasonal to me. Pumpkin feels like a very seasonal flavor. And I enjoy it in its season, but the very fact that I don't have it for most of the year probably means that that's the one I could most readily be fine with. I like apple just about everything, so I'll keep apples for the year-round palate.
Okay, so apples for 9 months, pumpkin for 3, something like that.
No, I still eat apples with the pumpkins.
Oh, okay.
So I eat a lot of things, and so there's no reason to ever cut anything out just because you've added something. The pyramid just gets bigger.
I eat all the things.
He does not have a stop eating list.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Fair.
What's that?
I was gonna say, what about you, Paul? If you had to choose one or the other.
Yeah, I would probably lean towards pumpkin as far as the. I lean towards apple as far as my favorite heading into the fall season. For some reason, psychologically, I reserve the pumpkin stuff for Thanksgiving week.
That's fair.
I don't know if you can legally have a piece of pumpkin pie prior to Thanksgiving. I don't know what the rules are on that.
They don't exist until the week.
I don't think they do. You can't wear white after
then.
Labor Day. You can't eat pumpkin pie before Thanksgiving. That kind of thing.
Right.
So I would probably ease into it with apple stuff, apple cider, etc. And then when Thanksgiving week gets here, then bam, pumpkin pie. But just that week. After that, it's off the menu.
Yeah. Hit it hard.
Exactly.
After that,
Apple Jacks. Yeah, Apple Jacks. All those kind of things are good.
Apple Jacks. Interesting. See, I'm a pretty anti-pumpkin. Not that I have anything against pumpkin. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I understand.
I think that counts as you not having anything. I don't have anything against it. I just hate it.
I just want more for you guys. That's all.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
I'm not. Yeah, I can have one piece of pumpkin pie a year, and I'll be great. And I probably like actually the whipped cream more than I actually like the pumpkin pie. So, but if I didn't have pumpkin pie, I'd be fine too. So
now I have yet to I've never witnessed somebody making a pumpkin pie from a pumpkin. It's always from a can.
Yeah.
Have you guys? Is that a thing though? I assume people make pumpkin pie from a pumpkin.
that evolutionary process from the guts of the pumpkin to what you get in the can, I think it takes place over millions of years. So I've not witnessed that.
I don't know if you guys have ever personally like cut open the pumpkin, but inside is a can.
Oh yeah.
And it's just full of like that's what's inside the pumpkin. So it's actually not nearly as difficult as you'd think.
Okay. Because when I scoop out the seeds of the pumpkin, what I'm touching with my hands is nothing like what comes out of that can.
No, it is.
No, that's the evolutionary process has to take place. But like Nate's saying, if you buy the right pumpkin, it'll already be in the can.
Alaska. That's how all the pumpkins were.
Yes.
That's what those signs at the grocery store mean when it says like pie pumpkins. Those are the special ones.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
And there's a little graham cracker shell inside too. When they're really matured.
This podcast has been so educational.
Oh yeah,
I've learned so much.
Practically a cooking. It's a cooking podcast now. So see if we can get our on iTunes. See if we can get into the cooking category now. Culinary.
Like get every little tag.
Yes.
The next episode we have Aaron for. We'll do a Panera. Panera. Yeah. A panini. Sorry, a panini special.
He's probably had a pumpkin panini before.
I guarantee.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, one thing with our show, our podcast now that we've been doing it for quite a while, and we've gained more listeners, gained more sponsors and income. Is I don't know how many listeners know this, but because of our 20th episode, we were able to have a promotion where we sent one of our hosts to visit one of our listeners, one of our faithful listeners. And it's just something that as a corporation we want to do to give back to our audience, and so our faithful listeners recently. So can you tell us about this?
Oh, you talking about me?
Yeah, I
thought Nate went somewhere.
No.
Oh no, I thought we sent
Nate
you.
visited one of our listeners. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. We had a good time, and I think Paul, you also went somewhere. So why don't you tell them about that?
I did too.
I guess.
Yeah, we swung over to Hong Kong a couple of weeks ago, and visited probably one of our most loyal and excited listeners.
Yeah, tell us about. Now, is Hong Kong a state or a country or a city or?
Yes, all of the above.
Oh, okay.
And we Christy and I flew over there a couple of weeks ago and spent about 9 days with Emily, and just had a fantastic time. Getting to see her new world, her new neighborhood, her church, workplace, coworkers, all those sorts of things, and experiencing culture and all that fun stuff. So it was just a real exciting, a fun 8 or 9 days that we were over there.
Is there anything you can compare Hong Kong to that maybe we or our listeners would be familiar? I mean, is it like Chicago times 5 or?
Yeah. No, exactly. And I think I used that a few times. I would tell people that it's like New York City on steroids, except it's clean, quiet, and polite.
And you came back?
Yes.
So like the kind of steroids, not the ones that give you roid rage, but the ones that make you a more cleaned up and like nice individual.
Well, I think it's more just a lot more going on in some ways, and but along with that, it's just a very quiet place, despite 7.5, 8 million people, and the most densely populated part of the globe right there, and everything's incredibly clean for having that many people in that small space, and the people are very polite as well. So, yeah, it was a unique collision of a lot of things, but yeah, it was great. We're pretty confined to really a small portion of Hong Kong, and bouncing back most of the time between where the small village that Emily lives in, of about 1 million people, and
a little enclave.
Yes.
So it's basically like Dunbar.
It basically, to people in Hong Kong Central, it is. So when you tell, when you mention the name of the town she lives in, Tuen Mun, you get a look. It's like, whoa, I didn't know people I didn't know anybody actually lived out there. It is. It's 750,000 people. So,
but it would be considered a suburb of Hong Kong, or
yeah, kind of. Yeah.
ish,
Yeah.
or a borough.
It's actually considered the rural area.
The country.
It is. And I did see a patch of grass while we were there, so I would quantify that.
Just out there in the boonies.
Yeah, just out there, yeah.
Wow.
It's only about probably a good 20, 25-minute drive from Hong Kong Central area where you would think of high rises and millions of people. So it's just 20, 25-minute drive outside of that. So
what's the industry of, again, this is an educational podcast. I'm just trying to help our listeners. I mean, is it like, I think most of us would think technology.
Pumpkins, I think.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know what the specific industry is. I do know that whatever the industry is, it's doing very, very well. It's a very wealthy country, and the government has a surplus. They give money away that they actually have, unlike our government that gives money away that they don't have. They're actually giving China's money away in our country. But
take that, China.
Yeah, but they have a surplus, and it's, you know, I know there are poor people there and people that don't have as much as others, et cetera, but it just has a feel of a wealthy society, the actual province of Hong Kong there. The other thing that really did strike me is we talk about in our American culture a lot. We talk about how attached we are electronically and technologically, and how it's really a tether to us and all that. But after being there for 8 or 9 days, Americans are very detached. People there, I mean, conservatively, 48 out of every 50 people or 98 out of every 100 people just walk around with their phones right in front of their face. I saw people walk into street posts, and they walk into the doors of subways, and but everyone does it. And no matter of age, 80-year-old, 90-year-old people have smartphones right in front of their own eyes. And it is a way of life in everybody. And so you have a smartphone, and then you also have an external battery back on your smartphone. And then you carry another external battery to plug in, because you always have to be powered up. And then there's USB chargers on buses and trains and everything, and everywhere in the mall and everything. It's just people are plugged in, and they're just face to face with technology. It is unreal. So I came back and apologized to Jackson and told him he's actually not very attached to his phone.
Jack, we bought you another phone and a battery.
So,
is there any like commonality of what they're doing? Or is it
no, there
anything?
You know, I actually witnessed just tons of people playing games, and people of all ages playing all kinds of different games on their phone. But they do spend tons of time on public transit. There's tons of downtime, quote unquote, that because virtually nobody owns a vehicle there, and so it's either bus, train, subway, light rail, whatever. And so everybody's doing that. So to pass time, they're all just getting in their own world, and it's uncanny. And they love taking the pictures of themselves. And I did take some video in a park that I never posted. I don't know if I ever will, but just to show, because it was a holiday, so there's thousands of people through these parks, but they all have their selfie sticks, and they're all out taking pictures of themselves. And Muslim women and businessmen and everybody, it's just constant. I'm sure there's lots of surgeries that take place because of rotator cuffs from extending.
They got a lot of Tommy John surgery.
A lot of that. Yes.
Wow.
And then the selfie stick industry has to be very huge over there.
Maybe that's their main export.
It might
Maybe
be.
That's what the money is.
And again, to another symbol to me that they don't worry about people smuggling things into sale, because they're probably exporting 10 times what they're importing. Is when you do come through customs, they don't care. It's just, it'd be like you leaving Walmart to a checkout line. It's just people wave at you. They don't ask questions. You fill out a form, but it's all, it's just a formality, but they don't care because, whatever you bring in, I'm sure we're exporting 10 to 20 times, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was a unique thing, but we had a great time.
I have so many questions, but
yeah, I bore our listeners.
Yeah, but when has that ever stopped us?
Yeah, that's true.
I have so many questions, so here we go.
I'll just ask one more, and I don't know if Nate has any. Seriously, how's the French toast over there, though? I mean, do they have how's the food? What were the highlights of the food? Was it good, bad? What'd you like?
Yeah, if you've had authentic Chinese before, it's pretty much what you'd expect. But there's things you like and things you don't like. And since this was more of a quasi vacation trip as opposed to a mission trip, we actually got to pick and choose what we ate. Missionaries were not there making jokes of us or fulfilling their own humor by watching the Americans eat weird stuff. So we did try a lot of different stuff. We even had some Vietnamese food, Japanese food, Korean food, and then obviously a lot of Chinese food, but we also had pizza and we also had a couple of burgers. The interesting thing is that I think both of the places we had burgers there, the meat is actually imported from the UK. One was from the UK, one's from Australia. And so it has a very different taste to it. And, very good because, U.S. is all corn-fed beef, and UK and Australia would typically be all grass-fed. And it just has a very different taste. Very good, but just different. So you taste the difference in that. But, we like the dumplings there, the Chinese dumplings, shrimp or pork.
Oh, that's not what you get at the Chinese buffet, like the little sugar-coated donut things?
No, not the donut holes. I never saw any of those.
Did they have a soft serve ice cream machine at every
I mean, they have it at the Iron Mountain Chinese buffet. Why don't they have it in Hong Kong?
I kept looking for the chart of the animals, of which Chinese animals we were based on our birth year, but I never saw one of those at any of the places we ate.
And they use
really disappointing. Sounds like.
What's that?
I was going to say, they use chopsticks, right? Or no?
We did. We used chopsticks everywhere. So
that part's real, Kevin.
Yeah. That's why people don't get fat over there. That's why they're all so skinny, because you can't, try to eat a hamburger or a slice of pizza with a chopstick. It ain't happening.
The fork was a bad idea, really.
And the shocking thing was there's not a lot of rice over there. I went to a Japanese restaurant and had rice, but as a staple, we went to the pastor took us to this huge buffet our first first afternoon there, I should say. And it was a fantastic place at a really 5-star hotel. And so I was going through getting stuff, and of course I got rice, and I came back to the table and he rebuked me. He's like, "Why are you getting rice?" I was like, "I thought we were supposed to." He's like, don't waste our money on rice here. Get the good stuff. So yeah. But yeah, it's good. It's good.
Nate, did you have any questions? Because if you don't, I have one more.
No, I've asked Paul all these questions just in person. So not in person, but just in other conversations that are not televised.
Well,
I guess this isn't televised either.
Well, shuffle. Paul, which of the other 4 co-hosts of this podcast, not counting yourself, which of us would struggle the most in Hong Kong, and why?
Ooh.
I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but you can be, honest.
You can be cruel.
Funny.
We won't. Kevin and I won't take it personally, and Rob will never hear this. So
that's a good point.
Right. And
Aaron's just going to click it as read. When this shows up on his podcast feed, he's going to click it as read, as listened to, delete.
That's right. And Aaron's a very forgiving person, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if anybody's claustrophobic, then you would definitely struggle. Just a lot of people that cram into small space all the time. There's no respect of personal space whatsoever.
Did it help for you to be 8 inches
Oh, yeah.
taller than everyone, so
Oh,
like
that was.
claustrophobia wasn't a thing.
I
You're
had
just kind
I
of
had a
like,
lot of clean air. I had a lot
I
of
was
clean
like,
air where I was. Yeah, I wasn't sharing space with anyone. So
so
yeah,
so you're saying Rob? Sounds like Rob would struggle the most.
I could see
Just
Rob potentially struggle
just
in a couple of
just
ways.
from a height perspective.
But Rob's been to China, so
That's
he
true.
would know what he's to. So
He knows the
that's
ins
why I
and
would
outs.
hesitate to say him. But so yeah, it was great.
Good,
It was great.
good. Well, hey, maybe for our 40th episode, we'll send another co-host to visit the listener.
Yeah, let's do that.
It'd be fun. Well, I think with our time remaining, I think we might be able to hit two topics. So the next one we're going to discuss is just the uniqueness of this year. Right now, as we are recording this, I believe is the opening game of the NBA season, if I'm not mistaken. Cavs and Celtics, is that right?
That's what I heard. Yes.
Going on right now, yeah. Obviously, by the time listeners be so old. We have the NBA, we have NFL, NHL has begun, Major League Baseball is in the postseason. We have college football in full swing. I guess if you consider golf a major sport, is golf going on,
Paul
Paul?
does.
I really don't know.
Actually, technically, the new golf season, started last weekend.
Oh, okay. There you
for
go.
whatever that's worth.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, this time of year, there's every sport you can imagine virtually is available. So, what's your favorite to watch right now, and why? What's your favorite sport to watch? And I mean right now, as in like this week, this time of year. Currently, you can say last week or next week or whatever. But this time of year.
Well, see, last
what's
week
your
or next
favorite?
week makes a big difference at this current point in time, being after week 6 of the 2017 NFL season.
It's
My
the week that
football
the
season
NFL
actually
season
ended on
ends.
Sunday.
Yeah.
The season's over. So, Kevin, you're actually wrong.
Like when people say
good
if the season ended today, it did. It ended that day.
It did. It ended in the first quarter. And
1:15 Eastern time.
yeah, that's all true. That's all true.
But are they not still favored to win the division, which is interesting?
No, I would say the jury is out. You got to watch and see.
Yeah,
I thought I read where whoever sets the odds that they're still favored to win the division. But what
the odds be in our favor?
For the two listeners that don't know what we're talking about, the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, when Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone. Well, he didn't break his collarbone.
Someone else
collarbone was broken.
Gravity.
And from what I'm reading, it sounds like it's like if it's not season ending, it's because they'll make it to like the NFC Championship game, and he might come back by then, right? I mean, he's out for basically the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think they'll know. It's one of those things they still have to do surgery, and then after surgery, it's a set number of weeks, and then they can actually start looking to see if he has any time to come back. But yeah, it's going to be very minimal, if at all. But that's the way it is in a contact sport.
Yep,
he got contacted.
Yeah, just like in Gordon Hayward playing a contact sport, just suffered a real. So I guess contact doesn't matter. Like,
yeah,
I do think Aaron Rodgers will be back before Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, that is probably fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Ugh.
But so Kevin, I guess I'll try to actually answer your question.
Yeah, you can answer as
normally football season in any form would take precedence over any of the other sports in any of their forms for me.
Like liquid form or solid or gas or
like a gas.
Okay.
Like a gas. Like football currently would be better than like a gas form of baseball or whatever,
It just permeates.
I will say the past 3 years for baseball have been an entirely new experience for me as a Cubs fan. This is the third year in a row that the Cubs have been to the League Championship Series. So I'm still getting accustomed to caring about baseball at this point of the year. I will say that last year, the month of October and the first couple of days of November were some of the most tiring weeks of my life because it's all the baseball games started at like 8 or 9. And I was like, man, if the Cubs are going to win this thing, I'm watching every second of this postseason. There's no way that I can So it was exhausting, but it was the coolest payoff last year, watching the Cubs win and do all that. So while football would almost always take precedent as far as what I'm watching this time of year, last year with the Cubs postseason run was pretty cool. And while I enjoy the NBA games as individual games just matter so little.
Yeah.
That it's more like a general, like, oh, cool, the season started, as opposed to genuinely being hyped for the first few games, I guess.
Yeah. Fair.
That's good.
Paul, you agree, disagree?
Yeah, no, I would agree. I probably take it a little step further in that since I enjoy a wide array of sports, whether I have a team in the hunt or not, when it comes to the NLCS, ALCS, and World Series, that's what must-watch TV for me. I enjoy that drama because it always seems to deliver. It always seems to the teams are incredibly equal, and it just seems to be good theater. Plus the cool weather and the stadiums that are packed, and again, typically there's at least one Cinderella type team in it, so that kind of makes it a fun deal. So I think that kind of jumps to the top for me. But like Nate, I'm a football guy, college and NFL, and so definitely enjoy that. And same about the NBA. It's just exciting because basketball's starting. I care more about college than NBA, but there are usually a couple of good matchups every now and then that are worth watching in the NBA before the playoffs begin. So, but yeah, World Series all the way, and haven't watched much baseball the entire year, but this is still worth watching once you get to this time of year.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think for me, it would normally be college football this time of year, but October baseball is just amazing. And it made me think. I think of the major sports. I think Major League Baseball and the NHL have the most significant difference from regular season to the playoffs, because playoff hockey is incredible, just incredible to watch playoff hockey. And then the same thing with baseball. To watch the Dodgers and whoever, or New York is playing Houston, and then Dodgers are playing the Cubs. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
To watch that game in June is like,
oh yeah, kill me.
Yeah, or to watch the Capitals against the Penguins in February is like, ugh.
They do that? People do that?
Exactly.
Whoa.
But then come October for baseball, or come end of May, beginning of June for hockey, it just goes to a different level. And it is the difference, I think, is so much more than the other sports, where the NFL is exciting, but then playoff football is fun too, but it's not the difference.
Well, I was listening to someone the other day, like someone on the radio, like someone who actually has a voice, not just some dude in a corner talking or whatever. But he was saying, like, people have been talking for years, like, we have to change baseball because baseball is so boring. And I'm a baseball fan, and it's 182 games of an untimed game is just, it's ridiculous. It's so hard to watch and care.
Yeah.
But like the way that baseball is so slow and intentional and methodical is actually what makes October so unbelievably intense, because all of a sudden every pitch matters, and all of a sudden every little thing becomes so important, and there's so much strategy in it. And that's actually going on all season, but it's just so hard to care 30 games into a season about those things.
Right.
But those are the exact things that when you hit October, all of a sudden ratchet up the intensity and make playoff baseball so much fun to watch. So,
and I can relate to what you were saying too. Yeah, I can relate to what you were saying too, Nate, about fatigue and all that last year. From going through the decade or so that the Braves were in it every year, and it was just exhausting. And I expect them to be.
Is that
back
a humble brag?
No,
I was tired for like 10 years. Whew,
no, but my point is,
so hard when your favorite team is always in the playoffs. Ugh.
No, my point is, it's actually more enjoyable and stress free. To be in a place occasionally that you actually don't have a dog in the fight, because then you can actually feel free to go to the refrigerator or the bathroom at any moment.
Right.
If I doze off between a pitch or two, it's okay.
Right.
But nothing else. The other does not allow that, and And then even after the game's over at 1 a.m., it's not like you're going to sleep
You're
right
like,
away.
oh, nope, not at all.
No, it ain't happening.
Not at all.
So
That's good. Good stuff. One more question for us to consider before we sign off on this monumental 20th episode. And that is, sometimes our listeners just want to know what we're enjoying. So the question is pretty open-ended. What is something that you are, maybe it's reading, maybe you're watching a show on TV, maybe it's something you're listening to, a song, maybe it is a food that you particularly enjoy right now, an activity. What's something that you're just enjoying right now? Maybe we'll have 2 or 3 person. You just really right now. Paul, what's one thing you're enjoying?
Should we do a rotation where we each say one?
Yeah, let's do one each,
instead of like,
because I'm sure Paul will take mine and then I'll take his.
Yeah.
So,
I'll have to adapt on the fly.
there you go. I'm enjoying actually catching up on several podcasts that have been accumulating in my queue from the
not
past.
this one, because we have not been accumulating any.
Nope. That's why I've not even opened it, because we haven't done one. So I've actually just enjoyed that on our flight to and from Hong Kong as well, catching up on several and then re-listening.
Did you catch up on the entire catalog of iTunes podcasts on your flights to and from Hong Kong?
No.
Those are long.
No. But I think I've got about 10 or 12 that I subscribe to. So,
Any you want to mention? Maybe.
I think same ones I've mentioned or we've mentioned at different times on here before.
Okay.
Some sports podcasts, some ministry, and others. So,
have you listened to the new Sports Reporters?
No.
So I'm sure you're familiar with the Sports Reporters TV show.
Classic, yeah.
Yeah. So since they've been off the air, they're now doing a podcast, and I actually never watched to the TV show because I think it was always Sunday morning. I think
it was.
Amen.
Record it. So
good for you, Kevin.
Well, but I've always been a Mitch Albom fan, and I enjoy listening to the podcast with those guys.
Very good.
And there's a lady, I shouldn't say guys, but yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I've been enjoying lately is let me find my list because I wrote these things down and now I forget. Yes, I am enjoying in my coffee. I'm enjoying International Delight Sweet Cream Creamer, and it's not like a new thing for me, but
it's the Cold Stone type, right? The Cold Stone Sweet Cream.
Yes, the Cold Stone. Yes.
Yeah.
I can't do any other.
You put stuff in your coffee. That's weird. I've never heard of
someone's house and they're serving more.
You put stuff in the coffee. Huh.
Yeah, I know. So I'm enjoying it. I'm not man enough yet.
If you're Jeremy Fraser, you just pour an entire mug of that stuff and then drop a few drops of coffee in it. Yeah.
That's what my wife does.
I remember I could smell, like, you would carry mugs of coffee around and you could smell hot creamer. Like you didn't smell coffee. It literally, like, it was just the weirdest. It was the weirdest smell.
That's funny. Nate?
Man, you said like things to enjoy, then you gave a list, and so I kind of like thought through things that I'd been enjoying in all the categories. But I'm gonna throw a Jesus juke in here since neither of you guys did, and just kind of sound more spiritual than maybe either of you guys.
Well, you are.
Yeah. Well, I have been enjoying for maybe the first time reading the book of Isaiah. I have read the book of Isaiah before, but I've never felt like I've been able to grasp really what's going on outside of Isaiah 6, Isaiah 53, like the ones that have been fed to me many times before. But just really, I've really been enjoying reading through it in the context of Scripture as a whole, and I think just seeing a few more of the connections of how it fits into the whole biblical narrative and everything. It's been pretty cool.
Oh, very good.
Back to you, Paul.
Yeah, I see. I'll go to the food category. I enjoy Arnold Palmer's with the sweet tea and lemonade. But this summer, my wife bought this. It's a blueberry lemonade. And so
Really?
one of my go-to drinks has been an Arnold Palmer with the blueberry lemonade in the sweet
Ooh.
tea, and it is,
Whoa.
yeah,
Ooh.
it's robust, and it's a very, very good refreshing drink that I enjoy. So
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
a mixed drink of blueberry lemonade and sweet tea.
Wow. Cool. I'm going to go the very insignificant route. Things that are not relevant or important at all.
Did you think the creamer one was significant?
Touche, Nate, touche. I recently came across this Twitter feed called Only in Russia, and it's probably like a bunch of other Twitter feeds, but it's comprised of these short videos of things that quote unquote would happen only in Russia, and they're just funny. They're just funny. So,
Yeah.
it's got this video of this old car, but one of the taillights has been removed because they transport their pet goat in the trunk and his head sticks out the taillight. And so it's just like 5-second video of this goat looking around at people out of the taillight of a car. And then there's other just random stuff on there. So yeah, Only in Russia. Very funny Twitter.
Nice. This is I wasn't even going to go with a Twitter follow, but since you mentioned it, this reminded me of I follow an account called Bible Students Say, and it's a locked account, so you can't I can't retweet them or anything like that. But what it is it's a college Bible professor who, when the papers come out, take quotes from their students in the papers and tweet them, just ridiculous statements of either people just trying to fill space or people who are so clueless on the topics. And every single quote comes with a highly entertaining GIF attached to it as a reaction. And it's absolutely fantastic. Bible Students Say, and it, as someone who went through 4 years of Bible college and then worked there afterwards, it's awesome.
That's awesome.
It's great.
That's awesome. Let's see. One of the other things I've enjoyed doing most of the summer, and then I'm sure we'll continue as long as the weather will allow, is grilling. Is experimenting with different smoking different types of meats on the grill, and so that's been a new thing I've done a lot this summer, and just trying lots of different things. And so I usually experiment when Christy is gone. So I don't kill anyone, and then if it's good, then we'll work it into our rotation. And so really enjoyed grilling salmon, smoking salmon, and grilling racks of ribs, and then even short ribs and stuff like that. So that's been a fun thing I've done this summer.
I've been a beneficiary of some of your grilling this summer.
Yeah, that's right.
One thing I've enjoyed recently, I don't know how new it is, but I was introduced to a new song, I guess to be called a hymn, by Aaron Keys, titled King Forevermore. I think it's also called God the Uncreated One. And it's just a song that I cannot get out of my head, and I cannot stop listening to. And there's many reasons why I like it, but the tune, the text, I just really, really love that song. And so we're actually going to start learning it tomorrow night, actually.
Nice.
Our youth group. So yeah, King Forevermore by
Cool.
Aaron Keys, who's a close friend of Paul's, from what I understand.
Yeah, I was just
Who's
texting.
not?
I was just texting just a second ago.
Yeah, I mean, who's not a close friend of Paul's, right? Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh.
Nate, do you have another one for us?
Yes, we got the rotation. There's a TV show that was recommended to me by a friend. It's no longer on. It's over. I've only really been able to find it on Amazon Prime, but it's called The Newsroom, and it doesn't seem like a concept that would be that exciting, but it basically follows as they try to make actual real news in a world that is what we see now as far as cable news. And I think part of where the way just like the world is right now, it's such an appealing narrative of like people trying to share the real story. But it's also like very humorously written, and it's incredibly quippy and everything like that. So it's like the overall arching narratives are very intense and very cool, but it's also just kind of entertaining on a just person to person level.
Nice. Very good.
Can we do one more round, you think? Do we have more or no?
Oh yeah. I'm currently reading a book. I just started yesterday. Yesterday's Monday. Today's Tuesday. Yeah, started yesterday. Called In the Arena. It's about sports and Christianity and in our American culture.
David Prince.
Yes.
Yeah.
By Prince. Yeah, Purple Rain. So I'm only a couple of chapters in, but very interesting read. Very a lot of things to think about in regards to sports culture, and even though we're on the tail end of the parenting side of that, I think there'll still be a lot of useful principles and such to apply when coaching or even just helping people in our church to navigate that fine line of sports discipleship, gospel platform, or potentially an idol. So all those positives and the dangers.
That is on my to read list. Very much so. By the way, this is not my answer for this round, but whoever recommended the Hoopla app, thank you so much. I think it was Rob who initially mentioned it, but some of the other guys have used it. It has like quadrupled.
It is the best.
It's quadrupled my book intake.
Mm-hmm.
Just amazingly. So thank you guys. That's why we do this for our listeners, so people can have better lives.
And for somebody that might not have heard the previous episode where the Hoopla app was discussed, what's a snapshot of what that app does for you, Kev?
Yeah, it works in conjunction with your local library so that you can download, you can read or listen to books, audiobooks. I think you can even do like music and movies through them. So it works as a digital library, but it's through your local library. So as long as you have a library card, which I believe is free everywhere or most places, it's free. And there's limitations. So I know with audiobooks, I get 4 per month, but 4 audiobooks a month, that's one a week. It's more than enough. You can use Overdrive. There's some other things you can use, but Hoopla is awesome.
I think I'm correct in saying this, but Misha Frazier, who is an avid reader, would go around the country and get library cards from various different libraries and just has this like unbelievable collection of access to
like a limitless supply.
ebooks. Yeah, basically I could just like check in anywhere. She's like, oh, that book's not at this library, and goes and finds it somewhere else.
Wow.
That's awesome. That is awesome. She's a professional roadie.
Yeah, she knows what's up.
Yeah. No, the one I was going to mention was I know at least a few of our listeners watch this show, but my wife and I have really enjoyed watching Designated Survivor. And I know at least another wife of one of the co-hosts.
It's not mine.
No, it's not Nate's. So it comes on Wednesday nights. We record it, watch it Thursday night. It's become like a weekly. Well, yeah, because we're tired on Wednesday night. That's why. It's become like a weekly after the kids go to bed date night thing for us. So partly because of how it's allowed us to have a regular time like that together, but we also really enjoy the show.
My turn.
Yes, that's what this awkward silence means.
Yeah, this round you'll go after Kevin.
You like how I read between the lines there? South Carolina, been the same in Brevard, Paul, I don't know. South Carolina has had an extremely delayed fall.
Yeah.
It was
started today.
It started today. Yesterday and today, I feel like, are the first 2 days where you walk outside and it's like, oh, it's cold in the morning and it's cold in the evening. And that makes me so happy.
Me too.
I have been I tried to have a good attitude through the summer, and I think I'm learning to like just be like, hey man, summers are rough, but I struggled more in late September and October when I was just like sweating like crazy at work. I felt like I went through my purgatory. I was supposed to get I was supposed to get in.
But to be fair, we didn't have a particularly hot summer. In fact, summer kind of came late in some ways. I thought I didn't think it got extremely hot till our hottest days of the year were like late August and the first few weeks of September.
Yeah, it did. I guess
the
it's
90s
slow build to it. Yeah,
that was like even the that was insult to injury that we weren't getting fall. We were actually getting summer instead.
Yeah,
worst part of summer.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching the Alaskans' reaction, Paul, when you first said we didn't have a very hot summer. The Alaskan was like, but then I realized what you were saying, that the summer was hot. It was just later than normal. Yeah.
Well, the other thing too is even though there's only an hour difference between where Nate and I are, there's about a 10-degree difference too because of the altitude and such. But we're usually 10 degrees cooler than Greenville. But yeah, I mean that when I was in Indiana, I think it was the second week of September or something, third week of September. I mean that week it was 97 in Lafayette, Indiana. They were canceling soccer games because of the heat and stuff like that. So
oh, wow,
it was just that weird weather pattern we were in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am glad fall is here for sure.
Yeah.
It looks like it's actually going to be cold next week, not fall, but actually cold next week, based on the weather pattern. So that's pretty exciting.
So this week is your week of fall? Is that what you're saying?
It'll bounce back.
Which actually, that's very Alaskan also, is to just go straight from summer to. So this is working for me. I'm used to this.
That's great. That's great. Well, guys, one thing I'm enjoying is this podcast.
Amen.
I'm enjoying this time with you guys. It's been a long time.
This personal podcast has been a long time. It's been like an hour and 10 minutes.
Well, it has it. It took us 30 minutes to get on the air.
Yeah. We had some technical difficulties. But thank you guys for your time this evening.
Thank Rob and Aaron too.
Oh yes, thank you, Rob and Aaron, for
sitting out this
giving
one
up
so
their
they come in to be in the
chair.
next one.
Yeah, for all your preparation you're doing for the next one. Exactly. Well, guys, enjoy watching October baseball, and I'm sorry about your quarterback. I really am. I don't say that with any sarcasm at all. I'm sorry.
That means a lot.
I'd forgotten about it for a little bit, but thanks for bringing it up.
Sorry. Well, hey, again, for Nate and Paul, we thank you all for listening, and we hope to see you next time. Bye.
Peace out.